Welcome to the KCS Quarterly Safety News, a video for KCS, by KCS, about KCS safety. At KCS, we hear it a lot. Safety is our number one priority. But do our actions reflect the words? Does safety start with you? Consistent with the KCS safety value, we all must demonstrate a commitment to safety for ourselves, our fellow employees, our customers, contractors, and any other guests on our property. We're back now with episode 10. This episode is going to be a little different. Instead of focusing on just one or two safety topics, we've got something new. This episode focuses on the most critical rules you need to follow when on KCS property. Introducing the KCS cardinal rules. A cardinal rule is a rule that is so important that if broken, there are potentially dire consequences. A potential consequence could be a serious or fatal injury, a derailment, or an equipment collision. If you follow the KCS cardinal rules, these consequences are avoidable. Implementing the KCS cardinal rules is a company-wide initiative for 2022. Now, these rules aren't new. These are KCS and G-Core rules that you are already following. These are the rules you follow when performing your day-to-day duties. Rules that have potentially dire consequences if not complied with. What rules are considered to be cardinal? Quite a few, actually. So to make things easier, the cardinal rules are broken down by department. And don't worry, we're not covering all the rules in this video. This episode will cover on-track safety for engineering, blue signal and working under equipment for mechanical, and required train stops for transportation. Now, we could recite these rules verbatim to you and send you on your way. You must have read these rules already. We want to help ensure that you understand what each rule means and why we choose them as our KCS cardinal rules. All right, engineering folks, you're up first. Are you ready for your first set of cardinal rules? They are On-Track Safety and Roadway Worker Rule 21.1 Job Briefing. On-Track Safety and Roadway Worker Rule 21.3 Rules for Roadway Worker Groups. On-Track Safety and Roadway Worker Rule 23.0 Methods to be used to protect workers fouling any track. On-track safety rules are the foundation for all other rules. Without a job briefing for yourself and work group, and without an on-track safety protection, no work can get done. Following all on-track safety procedures will keep you, those around you, and all equipment safe while working on or near the tracks. Remember, you must take part in a job briefing before beginning any task, before fouling the track, and as conditions change. Job briefings cover information about the task you are about to perform, such as when, how, and where the work will be done and who is doing what. They inform of existing or potential hazards that might be involved in the workday and ways to eliminate or protect against them. All roadway workers are responsible to see that the work plan is carried out according to the job briefing or modified when conditions change. A roadway worker in charge will conduct your job briefing. During the job briefing, your RWIC will explain the type of on-track protection procedures to be used during the performance of work. The type of protection your RWIC chooses depends on the location of the work to be done, the duration of the work to be done, and what type of work needs to be done. Even if you're not an RWIC, you need to know and understand the different types of protection listed in OTS Rule 23. And do not start work until the RWIC confirms protection is in place. Next up is mechanical. The first few cardinal rules for your department relate to blue signal protection and working under equipment. G-Core 5.13 Blue Signal Protection of Workmen, GS-12 jacks, M2 jacking cars, locomotives, and work equipment. These rules are designed to protect workers who perform their duties around or under rolling equipment in a shop or servicing area. Understanding and following these rules will help avoid potential incidents, like moving equipment that has workers under it. A blue signal is a clearly identifiable flag or light during the day, and at night, a blue light. You are responsible for ensuring blue signal protection is in place before working on, under, or around rolling equipment. Place blue signals on a car, locomotive, switch, or derails to signify that you are on, under, or between rolling equipment. Applying blue signal protection protects you from potential movement made by other workers. But what about moves you make? How can you protect yourself while jacking equipment? There are also rules that you need to follow to help protect yourself. Working under equipment may require you to use a jack. Before using the jack, verify that it's stenciled or tagged with the rated capacity. Inspect it to make sure that it's in proper working order. Confirm that the jacks are adequate for the weight to be lifted. Place the jack on a level surface and secure it to prevent slippage. Chalk the wheels on the end opposite of the end to be jacked. Make sure that only one person is operating the jack at a time and that the jacking area is clear before making a lift. When making a lift, only lift the car as high as needed. Allow 5 minutes for settling and check the car and jack angle before starting any work underneath. Last but not least, the Transportation Department. This episode's KCS cardinal rules revolve around required train stops. G-Core 1.47.1 Cap Focus Communication. G-Core 5.13 Blue Signal Protection. G-Core 5.4.7 Display of Red Flag. G-Core 9.5 Where Stop Must Be Made. G-Core 9.12 Stop Indications. These rules dictate where to stop your train, when to stop it, and who to contact for more information. Like all cardinal rules, these rules are important in avoiding potential derailments, equipment collisions, and serious or fatal injuries. One of the easiest ways to avoid potential accidents is by having clear communication. Knowing and understanding the roles and responsibilities of yourself and your coworkers can help operations move flawlessly. G-Core Rule 1.47.1 tells us the specific situations, such as when moving within 2 miles of the end of the train's authority, operating at restricted speed, or on other than main track, except when involved in switching operations. Cap Focus Communications ensures the proper attention to detail in some of our most critical situations. The next few cardinal rules also cover communication, but communication in a more visual way. Blue signals, red flags, and stop indications are all visual communication methods that alert train crew and equipment operators that a stop must be made. Blue signals warn workers to stop and to not make any moves to a car or engine. Remember from earlier that an engine or car protected by blue signals means that there are workers around or under that equipment. Red flags protect roadway workers who are performing duties on a track that you may be traveling on. Bypassing red flags can have potentially fatal consequences. So when you see a red flag, you stop unless you have permission to proceed from the person in charge of that track. Another visual stop communication for those working in transportation are stop indications. Stop indications have different procedures to follow depending on the territory they're in. Do you know the different procedures for each territory? G-Core Rule 9.5 explains where a stop must be made when being governed by signals. Simply put, you must stop your train prior to the actual stop indication. No part of your train can be beyond this signal. To protect yourself and others, you need to make sure you are strictly following all rules, but especially these cardinal rules. Doing so will help avoid any potential incidents. Remember, these rules were chosen to be KCS cardinal rules because they have those most dire consequences if not properly followed all the time. While each department has their own specific cardinal rules, It takes compliance from all KCS employees to keep us all safe. Commit these rules to memory and speak up if you see someone struggling. You owe it to your coworkers and their families. Speaking up could help avoid a potential incident. Thanks for your attention today and every day. As you head back to the yard, into your shop, or out on the track, remember to follow all the KCS cardinal rules. And always communicate with your team. Speak up and take care of each other. Do that, and we'll see you back here next quarter.